Hey y'all, the elevated one here, and today I'm going to be doing the continuation of a series I started like a month ago, which was showing off my collections of each Godzilla movie, or at least each like batch of Godzilla movies. Because what I realized is that I don't have a lot of stuff from the Showa series. A lot of my stuff is either from the Heisei Millennium or, of course, you know, the Reiwa, because it's newer, it's easier to find. So this video is going to cover everything from Godzilla Rage Again to Godzilla's Revenge, really, and it's not even that. It really, most of it's just from Destroy All Monsters, to be honest with you. And even that I don't have that much of, so that's why I didn't want to make its own video on it, because it wouldn't have been much of a video. But once we get to the 70s movies, I think I should have a video for each of those movies, except for the Mechagodzilla movies. I'm just gonna group those together because I have more stuff for Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, but not a lot of stuff for Terror of Mechagodzilla, so those will just be one video. And again, this video is going to cover stuff from Rage Again to Godzilla's Revenge, so from 1955 to 1969. First, I have absolutely nothing for Godzilla Rage Again. Regrettably, I didn't buy the new Bandai 55 of Godzilla Angerus. I saw them there, and I had been wanting them. There was so much other stuff I wanted first, and now I regret buying them because the prices for most of them online are absolutely insane for what they are and how recently they came out. First, I have a few stuff for King Kong versus Godzilla. First, I got this old freaking VHS tape. This has to have been one of the first pieces of Godzilla media I ever got, and it was handed down to me from my dad. And it's the 35th anniversary edition of King Kong versus Godzilla. This was distributed by Good Times Entertainment, released in 1987, so I wasn't even alive yet, or a mere thought in my parents' imagination. So like I said, this was just given to me by my dad, and I think I've watched the VHS like a few times. I vividly remember me watching this like when me and my brother still shared bunk beds while we were still in elementary school, so that's how far this thing goes back. I actually haven't opened this in like 10 years probably, so oh, there it is. This is that dust? I think there's dust on the actual VHS tape. I'm stupid. I don't know if that's dust or just the pattern of the VHS tape. And here's the back of this. And of course, one of the reasons why I haven't viewed this one in a long time is because we sold a VHS player, and because I got this King Kong vs. Godzilla Blu-ray. This came out during the time when there was all of those Blu-ray releases of those Showa movies from Kraken, but this wasn't from Kraken. This was from God who knows. But I got this in like 2016 from a Barnes & Noble. I think my grandma got it for me. I was staying with her for like a week. We would stay for like maybe like a week every summer, and we went to a Barnes & Noble, and they had like a lot of those Kraken releases. But this one I got because, like an idiot, I thought this had a Japanese version in it, and I was very disappointed when I played it and there was no option to even switch versions of the movie. But I do know that the Criterion Collection has the Japanese version, so one day I'll get that. And for figures of King Kong vs. Godzilla, I don't have a lot, which is why I kind of grouped all these together. But I have this NECA WizKids Godzilla 1962. Under the base says it came out in 2014, so I must have gotten this in 2015, 2016. Because in my 1954 collection video, I said that there was a comic book store or a collectible store in my hometown, and the guy was selling a bunch of these WizKids figures. And I'll go there a lot, so we kind of built a rapport, I guess. He would let me open the baggies in front of him. If I had it already, I can trade them in. And I don't remember if I traded this one in or not, but I got it from him nonetheless. I got most of my WizKids from him. And the last figure for King Kong vs. Godzilla is the NECA Godzilla 1962, and the box is so chunky that it doesn't even fit in the frame. Now, I don't know if my memory is serving me right, but I think this was the first NECA figure that came in these boxes, because I know that, you know, later on they re-released like the GMK and the Shin Godzilla because those originally didn't have these fancy boxes. When they first came out, these boxes, the 62 was never in like those clear plastic boxes from before. This thing was originally revealed in 2018, and then it was released in late February 2019 after a delay. So I got this from Target like in late February, because I remember I had an old YouTube channel that it's not up anymore. You can't find it. I did an unboxing video of this guy, and there he is right now. This is a beautiful freaking figure. I will take him out in a little bit. This is one of my favorite NECA figures. I don't know if it's my number one, but it's definitely up there. This one in the 2019 NECA are some of my favorite NECA figures. Again, like old memories from unboxing it for the first time. Oh, I think this was the first time they did the tails, the articulated tails. I remember they used to have the wires back in the day, like, you know, 8 years ago. And a lot of people were against those. I actually kind of liked them because you could pose the tails, but the articulated tails is way easier. I don't remember the Shin Godzilla had articulated tails on that. And there's his face, his goofy frog face. I hit my base on accident. You also see how contrived I have my camera set up. This is crazy. It's a bit of a hassle to get the tail in, but I got it. Man, this is an awesome figure. I haven't held it like this in a good couple years. I've had it put away for so long. Man, that's a beautiful. Okay, this is awesome. I feel like I got it for the first time. There it is again. I don't want to spend too much time on it because I got a lot of stuff to show off. Man, this is fantastic. I know they discontinued the line, so if you missed out on this figure, I feel really bad for you. You need to do everything in your power to save up enough money to get this thing. And that's it for the King Kong vs. Godzilla stuff. There's everything from that movie I got, and that's why I didn't want to make a whole video on it because it's not really that much. Next, we got Mothra vs. Godzilla. I have a couple pieces of media from this too. I just realized how beat up this thing is, man. I'll show it off in the last video because this one comes with Mothra vs. Godzilla, I think in volume 1? Yeah, volume 1, I'm an idiot. Man, this is all beat to hell. Oh man, this makes me real sad. I think I just did this right now because I had trouble getting out of my TV stand. Well, I didn't have it wedged in there. It's just, I don't know. I guess it was stuck. Mothra vs. Godzilla right there. And then that's Rage again. Here's the disc of it right here. Like I said, my 54 collection video, I've had this DVD box set for quite a long time. It's probably, it must have been the first Godzilla like DVDs I've ever got. I don't remember what Godzilla movies I had before then. And the other DVD I got is the single DVD of Mothra vs. Godzilla from the Toho Master Collection. This release of these Showa movies started in 2006 until 2008, I believe. But I didn't get this until like 2013 because me and my dad spent a day just going to different like collectible stores hunting for Godzilla stuff. I think I might have only walked away with this for like $10. And I think the craziest thing is what I learned doing like, you know, this minimal research on when this stuff came out is this disc, if I remember, it looks just like the disc in here. So I think these are just the individual releases of this whole box set right here, which is pretty cool because now that I remember, every movie that's in this box set is on its own DVD release of the Toho Master Collection. It's pretty cool. I never put two and two together. Next for figures, I got the Bandai the Godzilla Collection Showa Mothra Larva. This one originally was released in 1989 and then it was most likely just re-released in 1992. I cannot tell you the difference between both of them. I don't know which one this one could be. The bottom of it says 1991, so maybe this is the 92 release. But I've also learned when the whole hassle of me trying to get the correct Bandai Creation Final Wars, the years on the bottom of the figures don't really mean jack all, depending on the time, I guess. But all I know is that this is the Showa Mothra. I know the Heisei and the Millennium Mothra Larvas like differently. And I got this for my first G-Fest in 2015 for like $10. There was a kind of funny story. I don't know which vendor it was, but there was two people selling it at least. And I asked one dude, I think he said it was $15. The guy I actually was gonna buy it from, he then told me it was $10, and the dude kind of mean mugged him, so I got $5 off of it, I guess. Now next, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't know what years these are, but these are from the Bandai Creation Pack of Destruction set that came out in 2002. This can't possibly be the Tokyo SOS Mothra Larvas, so either the Showa or the Heisei Mothra Larvas. If any of you watching this, I really don't know if any of you are Godzilla figure connoisseurs and can do some detective work, because I already did my own. I couldn't figure out where these came from. But for now, I'm gonna just put them. But for now, I'm just gonna put them down here. I'm gonna have them part as my Mothra vs. Godzilla. Oh, and then the overall Showa collection. Now, last for Mothra vs. Godzilla is the Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Store exclusive or limited, however you want to say it, Godzilla 1964. And one thing I love about the newer Bandai figures is that it tells you very clearly what year the figures came out in. So this one came out in 2024, and like I said, it was exclusive to the Godzilla store, and you know, just sold on the internet on different websites. When talking about my favorite Godzilla designs, I kind of forget 1964. It's an amazing design, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's almost a basic pick. Like a lot of people put this in their favorites, and rightfully so. It's an amazing design, and this figure really does it justice. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, maybe some of you might agree with me. This figure might be just a little bit better than the Memorial Box. I know it's mostly the same sculpt of the Memorial Box figure from 2005. I don't know, something about, I think the gray really helps it, because if there's one gripe I have with the Memorial Box is that a lot of the Showa Godzilla figures are green, which is kind of a Godzilla cliche. Like you can see on the VHS back there, he's green, which Godzilla has never been obviously green in any of the movies except for like Mega Gearus, where there's like shades of green on them. So I think that's why I appreciate this figure more, is because it looks more like, you know, the Godzilla from the movie Mothra vs. Godzilla. We skip, well, for Godzilla for Ghidorah the three-headed monster, It's mostly just the same designs. So here's Mount of Lava, and here's Godzilla 64. All right, Invasion of the Astro Monster. I have in this Godzilla collection DVD box set. I think he's part of Volume 2. He's the first movie on Volume 2. Oh, and actually he's the second because Ghidorah's right. The three-head monster's right there. But I feel like it'd be a bit redundant if I just keep showing this over and over again for this video. And I think the only other movie I have in here that covers the years that I'm covering in this video is Godzilla's Revenge. But for figures for Invasion of the Astro Monster, I have the one and only Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla Store Dancing Godzilla 1965. This is becoming one of my favorite Godzilla figures, and I love, especially with the flying Godzilla that I just got, I love that they're doing like iconic moments of the Godzilla series. They gotta do, especially that they're doing bases with these figures. They gotta do the drop kick from Megalon. That's gotta be a figure that has to be immortalized in the figure. I'm pretty sure it has somewhere else, but like it's probably like $5,000. The Bandai has to do a sliding drop kick Godzilla, man. This is also fairly recent. This came out in 2025. I got this in March. My parents and my sister took a trip to Japan, and they got me a few things from the Godzilla store. One of them was this. I asked for this one specifically because I saw it in the pictures. The only thing I have for Godzilla vs. the Sea Monster, or Ibra Horror of the Deep, is the 50th anniversary DVD 2004 release of the movie. And I haven't actually watched it with this DVD yet. I want to soon. It's not that long. I can probably do it over the weekend or something. But this is like the only thing from the Sea Monster that I have. I want the Bandai Ebra, but I saw it like on Amazon for like $90. I'm not, or am I gonna ask someone as a gift, have them pay $90 for a freaking lobster toy? That's absurd. So like, I know Bandai figures mean a lot to people and they're valuable, but at some point you just gotta look at them and say, yeah, that's not worth how much I'm charging for. But I digress. I got this from G-Fest this year for like $10. It's kind of beat up a little bit. Like up here, the plastic just kind of like all over the place. And if you look at it in person, I know it's hard to tell, but in person it has like a bunch of like weird like indents and stuff. And the plastic covering is kind of wrinkled. So it's not the best quality, but it's $10 for a DVD that came out over 20 years ago. And real quick, the only thing for Son Godzilla I have is the NECA WizKids Godzilla 1968. Unfortunately, I don't have like a Kamacuras or a Kumonga or a Minya. And of course, I don't have the Memorial box, so I don't have the Bandai 67. Alright, the last movie that would be covered in this video is Destroy All Monsters. And I have probably the biggest collection of any of the movies I've done so far. First I have this mini Bandai Anguirus from Destroy All Monsters. First glance, it might look like the Rage Again Anguirus, but after doing some expert sleuthing, everything said it was from 1968, so this is, I guess, the 1968. But I don't know where I got this from, to be honest with you. But also under him has like no information on, like no words or anything, so look at it again. Yeah, this might be bootleg, to be honest. I hope it's not, because for some reason I have a weird vendetta against bootlegs. First figure, like, you know, regular scale figure I have is the Playmate 6-inch Gorosaurus. And this is probably one of the more underrated Playmates figures, because there's a lot of praise, at least from what I've been seeing, a lot of praise for Playmates recently because they've been really stepping up their game. The wave they had with Gorosaurus, the Showa, Rodan, and Baragon, were those are excellent quality figures. That's what started them getting better. His face looks funny right here. Because before then, they had the disastrous Shin Godzilla, and even like the early Godzilla vs. Kong figures aren't that good. So it's kind of like, whoa, like what's going on? But when this dropped, I really wanted it, and I did get it. I think I got it for Christmas. I know my dad got it for me because most of my gifts that are Godzilla stuff is from him because he knows ball. I can't tell you if this was for like a birthday or Christmas, like some other occasion. Maybe I might graduate or something. I don't know. But I was really excited to see that a new affordable Gorosaurus figure was out on the market. This was $10, guys. That's why I like Playmates a lot, especially for their Toho figures. Like Showa Rodan, Showa Baragon, you gotta pay a lot of money for those Bandai figures. Even the new Showa Baragon is going crazy now. But when this came out, I feel like it was a real breath of fresh air for a lot of collectors, because this was probably the first Godzilla, or first Gorosaurus figure. I know it was mine. Next is the Bandai Creation Fusion series, Godzilla 1968. The Fusion line originally came out first in 2012, and I got this, I think, in 2014? Me and my dad did another Godzilla hunting day, and we went to a collectible store we used to go to at a mall. This was there, but I reluctantly paid like $40 for it. I'm gonna be honest with you, I was kind of sad. That was our last stop, and I hadn't gotten anything yet. So, and I kind of just bought this just because I wanted something. If I found this now and I didn't have it, I would not even look at it because I like it now because it's kind of rare, and I'm sure these prices are insane now. I don't know. He's kind of like a black sheep in my collection because I only have one other Fusion series, and it's the Rainbow Mothra, and that was a gift, so it's special to me. But this one I just kind of paid more than I should have, more than anyone should really. I don't mean to dunk on the poor dude. He looks really friendly, but I just kind of bought him just because I felt like I needed to get something. And I was like 9 years old. I should have been saving my money at that point. All right, I'm running out of space on my desk, but don't worry because we are almost done. Next, I got the Bandai Creation Godzilla 1968 standard version. This one I actually wanted to buy, and I bought it. I bought this, like, I went to Walmart one day. I bought this in, like, an Elite something Finn Balor. It's the one when he has, like, the rainbow gear from WrestleMania. And that was just an elite time in my life, bro. It was 2019, King of Monsters was coming out, Prime Fortnite, Prime NXT TakeOver, and I saw it at Walmart for, like, $12. And my uncle had gotten me, like those fake like debit cards. I mean, they kind of look like real MasterCards, but they're like, you know, I guess for kids. Like once you use all the money on them, you just throw them away. And I spent most of it on this Godzilla, that Finn Balor. Like I said, I got it in 2019, so this was the Walmart exclusive re-releases of a lot of the Bandai Creation figures. And that was actually the last wave, which is pretty insane. So this is kind of sentimental to me because I grew up collecting Bandai Creation figures, and this was one of the last figures they ever put out. So I'm holding on to this one forever. And 1968 is one of my favorite Showa designs. One of my favorite designs in Godzilla in general. I'm a sucker for the Showa series. I think he was like $12, $13. He was no more than 15 bucks. And last but not least, another recent acquisition. This one from G-Fest. Woof! So glad I finally had this in my collection. I won this figure for like 10 plus years. It is the Bandai, the Godzilla collection, Showa Anguirus. Man, this is a beautiful freaking figure. Anguirus 1968 originally was released by Bandai as part of the Godzilla collection in 1989, but his tag says 1992, so I think it takes no brains to determine this came out in 1992. Because why would a 1989 figure have a year on the tag that hasn't happened yet? It was kind of a bittersweet moment when I bought him. I know it sounds silly because it's a plastic Ankylosaurus toy. I saw him at the table. And he was like $100. I'm like, golly, $100 for an Anguirus figure. It's kind of crazy. Here's his tag. And I asked the dude there, like, are your prices firm? He said some BS about he's been holding on to him for like years or whatever. Kind of laughed at me, thought it was a joke or something. So I was kind of like, well, freak you, I'm not buying your stuff then. And I walked around the dude's room for like another hour, and I just couldn't find. I found the Toho Kaiju series of this Anguirus, but that was like the lighter version. I like this one because it was darker. I guess I could relate. And I think I found like one or two of this same guy, but without the tag. I'm like, well, damn, I'm not gonna pay that much for a figure that has no tag. So I eventually circled around to that dude, and I'm like, I'll drop 100 bones for this figure, and of course he sold it to me. I think he had beef with me though, for real, because the day before I like bought the little Godzilla from him, like a day early, and he charged me extra for it. So he probably wasn't happy to sell it right before he was supposed to put it out. I was kind of feeling because I didn't want to spend that much on an Anguirus figure, but at the same time, I understand why that guy sold it for as much as he did. He probably had it. He was an older dude, so he had it for a long time. Alright, that's it for this video. This is I will call, I guess, part of my Showa Godzilla collection. These are figures from the movies King Kong vs. Godzilla, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Invasion the Astro Monster, and the DVD of Godzilla vs. Sea Monster, Son of Godzilla, and Destroy All Monsters. And I guess you could count these two 68s as part of Godzilla's Revenge. They use that suit for a freaking time. That's it for this video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you all for watching.